Welcome to Daily Papers, the podcast where we break down interesting new research papers into something you can digest on your morning commute.
So we've all had that moment with an AI chatbot. You ask it a question and it gives you this beautifully written, confident-sounding answer that is just completely, totally wrong. It might invent a historical event or cite a book that doesn't exist.
Right, it's called a hallucination, which is the perfect word for it. The AI is essentially dreaming up facts. And while it can be funny when you're asking for creative ideas, it becomes a massive problem in high-stakes situations. You wouldn't want a financial AI hallucinating your insurance policy details, or a legal AI inventing a legal precedent.
Absolutely not, and that's the exact problem tackled by a new paper from researchers at CIBC in Toronto. It's titled Hallucination Detection and Mitigation in Large Language Models. Their core message is that we can't just cross our fingers and hope AI doesn't make things up. We need a systematic plan to manage the risk.
And they propose a really smart framework for this, built around a continuous cycle. It boils down to two key steps. First, you detect a potential hallucination, and second, you mitigate it, which is just a fancy way of saying you fix it or prevent it from happening in the first place.
The authors make a great analogy. It's like being a doctor for the AI. A doctor first runs tests to diagnose the illness, that's detection. Then, based on that specific diagnosis, they prescribe the right medicine, that's mitigation. You wouldn't prescribe antibiotics for a broken leg. The treatment has to match the problem.
Exactly. So let's start with detection. How do you even spot a hallucination automatically? The paper outlines a few cool methods. One of the most interesting is checking the model's own uncertainty.
Right, it's like asking the AI, on a scale of 1 to 10, how sure are you about that answer? One way to do this is looking at what's called semantic entropy. It sounds complicated, but the idea is simple. You ask the model the same question in a few different ways. For instance, what was the company's Q2 profit? And then, how much profit was reported for the second quarter?
And if the AI gives you two different numbers, like $3.7 billion the first time and $4.1 billion the second, that's a huge red flag. It's inconsistent, which tells you the model is probably unsure and just guessing.
Precisely. Another, more straightforward method is just good old-fashioned fact-checking. If you ask an AI to summarize a document, you can have another system that automatically compares the AI's summary against the original text. Did it invent a detail? Did it misstate a number? If so, flag it.
Okay, so you've detected a likely hallucination. Now for the second part of the cycle, mitigation. How do you fix it? This is where the paper gets really practical.
One of the most powerful fixes is something called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG. The best way to stop an AI from inventing facts is to just give it the facts. RAG connects the language model to a live, up-to-date, trusted source of information, like a company's internal database or a live feed of stock market data.
So instead of relying on its memory from its training data, which could be months or years old, it can look up the correct information in real time. It's like giving the AI a cheat sheet, but a cheat sheet with all the right answers. This is perfect for fixing hallucinations caused by outdated information.
Another big mitigation strategy is all about us, the users. It's called prompt engineering. Sometimes the AI hallucinates because we give it vague instructions. The paper points out that being extremely specific in your prompt can make a world of difference.
So instead of just saying, summarize this financial report, a better prompt would be, summarize the attached report in 3 bullet points. Use only verifiable data found in the source document. Do not speculate or add any outside information. You're building guardrails directly into the instructions.
Exactly. You're leaving no room for it to go off script. And for a more technical fix, you can actually tune the AI settings. There's often a parameter called temperature that controls creativity. A high temperature encourages the AI to be more random and inventive, which is great for writing a poem. But for extracting financial data, you turn that temperature way down to make it more focused and factual.
It's like a creativity dial that you can turn up or down depending on the task. That makes so much sense. And this all ties back to the paper's central idea, being root cause aware. You have to figure out why the AI is hallucinating to apply the right fix.
That's the key takeaway. The authors categorize the root causes into three main buckets. The problem could be with the model itself, like a flaw in its architecture. It could be with the training data it learned from, maybe the data was old or biased. Or the problem could be with the context you give it right now, like a confusing prompt.
So, if the root cause is outdated training data, giving it access to a live database with RAG is the perfect fix. If the root cause is a vague prompt, then prompt engineering is your solution. You match the medicine to the illness.
And it's a continuous cycle. You detect, you diagnose the root cause, you apply a targeted fix, and then you validate that the fix actually worked. The system gets smarter and more reliable over time by learning from its own mistakes.
So, in the end, this paper gives a really hopeful and practical roadmap. AI hallucinations are a serious hurdle, especially if we want to use these tools for important, real-world tasks. But the problem isn't insolvable.
Not at all. The paper shows that by moving from a reactive, oh no, it made something up again approach to a proactive, structured process, we can build much more trustworthy AI. It's less about creating a perfect all-knowing mind and more about building a robust system with smart checks and balances.
A fantastic way to think about it. It's about building a reliable tool, not a flawless oracle.
That's it for this episode of Daily Papers. Join us next time as we dive into another fascinating piece of research.